All right. It's that time. It's time for Beyond Sight and Sound. Let's do this.
Are you looking for a high-quality beach and sand scoop? Are you trying to take your hunting to the extreme? How about an American-based company that stands behind their product and everything they sell? Then check out our friends over at XTREME Scoops. John has been making scoops for some time now and makes a quality beach and sand scoop to take your hunting to the next level. XTREME Scoops recently released their new sand shredder that works great in the water and on the beach. And if you're a new Equinox user, you may want to check out his Surfmaster X3 that can trap those small targets you new Equinox users are finding out there. XTREME Scoops' company approach is let's do it right. So do it right, buy it once, and go to the extreme. XTREMEScoops.com. That's XTREME scoops.com. Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show.
That's right, we're back and we're live. It's time to roll with the show. You are listening to Beyond Sight and Sound, metal detecting and treasure hunting radio for all the really cool digging people out there. And as I look into the chat, I see that we've got Mark in, Bill, Steve, Jason, Pear, Paul, where was the other, Coin Discovery, yeah. I just saw it there. Yeah, Coin Discovery Hunter. Welcome aboard. I believe first time I've seen that name in the chat. So yeah, everybody's dropping in. There's Chuck, Ken. So they're coming in from all over. I see Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, Illinois. All over the country and all over the world for those who are hitting us on the archives, the podcast distribution services that we go through and all of that. So welcome aboard to everyone. We're back. We're live once again. We're here on Sundays. We're here on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, always 8 p.m. Eastern. Why? Well, that's just when we throw the switch around here. Links in the description tonight. Obviously, first and foremost, our friends over at Shooters and Prospectors, our friends at XTREME Scoops, our friends at DETECTEES.com. Ken and Mark, Darth and Buddy doing a great job with the shirts and other detecting apparel that they do. Once again, big shout out to Detectees for they were able to donate $250 towards multiple sclerosis charity. Very, very cool. And a big part of that was because of those folks that were purchasing Beyond Sight and Sound apparel or History Seekers apparel. So definitely, once again, kudos to everyone that was involved in that. Very, very, very nice to see. And we've also seen some more photos coming in of people with the Beyond Sight and Sound shirts. Captain Billy is sporting his along the Treasure Coast. He's enjoying the weather down there in Florida and doing well. So that is definitely good to see as well. The contest in the Metal Detecting Beyond Sight and Sound group is still over there. Go check it out. If you've got a Beyond Sight and Sound shirt, get yourself entered. You know, hoodie, shirt, long sleeve shirt, it doesn't matter. Get yourself entered. Chance to win a silver dollar or a copper bullion round, if you're into that sort of thing. RC Dunn also likes his shirt. And speaking of RC, there are links in the description as well for the XP Team USA podcast website and Facebook group. The link for, let's see, I think I changed it tonight. It's a numbers game. My last blog post that I did for the XP Team USA website. They are announcing a winner for their coil giveaway their next podcast. So if you haven't gotten yourself entered in that yet, go back, check out their last podcast, find out how to get yourself entered, get over to the group, get your entry in. Make sure you follow the directions, though, because some people have been trying to cut corners, and they're not getting into the contest. Their entry is not validated. So all we ask is that you do follow the rules. So, other than that, I see, let's see, we've got the link for Dirt Pirates Detecting, also our featured group of the month. And then we have the link to the YouTube channel of Hello World Metal Detecting. And we just had a big hiccup here. So we've got the link for Hello World Metal Detecting in there as well. Hang in there with me, folks, and we're going to try to do some things here real quick. I don't know, I just had some issues come up with what I've got going on here. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Okay, so now that we've got everything set and rolling here, obviously the last link in the description is for Darnell's YouTube channel, Hello World Metal Detecting. Actually, I think it's Darnell Williams, Hello World Metal Detecting. But we'll hear more about that from him. And if you guys have not checked out his videos, I've shared a couple of them in the past. I shared the most recent video last night or this morning. You have got to go and check out these videos. These are very good videos, very well done, and they're just tearing it up, having fun, making the finds that they are. So obviously, those who have already heard us talk about it in the past, our guest tonight is actually Darnell Williams out of Texas. And we'll get to hear about his experiences in the hobby, as well as his experiences with the Anfibio. Everybody's been talking about Anfibio. Well, this guy's actually got a video up about his settings, what he does, and you can see it watching his videos, what he's finding. He's doing an excellent, excellent job, definitely. So let's get him in here. How's it going tonight, Darnell?
Oh, it's going pretty good. How's everyone doing?
All right, good. We had some sort of little hiccup there, but I'm glad to see we got you back in, no problem.
Yes, sir.
Good. So, I don't know, I guess for starters, for those who may not know you, let's let people know, give them a little taste. Just who is Darnell Williams? What's your hunting like? What got you started in the hobby?
Well, I started out really I'm a coin collector. You know, I collect bullion, you know, gold coins, silver bullion and stuff like that. And I would always go to the bank and I would buy boxes of pennies and boxes of half dollars, and I would go through them. But at the same time, I would watch metal detecting videos. And I said, man, I think I'm going to try that one day. And so I just kept watching videos. And then this place called Big Five was going out of business. So I said, well, maybe I'll go there and see what type of detectors they had. Because I've watched, you know, videos of, you know, people using different types of detectors. And so I didn't know if I would really like it. So I didn't want to spend a lot of money to buy a detector and not liking it just sits in the corner. So I went to Big Five. I went to Big Five and I bought the Sharpshooter 2. I bought the Sharpshooter 2 and I was just finding, you know, when I found my first clad quarter, I was happy, you know, and so I just started finding more coins, but nothing deep, you know, pretty much on the surface. You know, Sharpshooter 2 is not a deep detector, but it's a start. And so I found my first silver, a Roseby, 1958. I remember it, 1958 Roseby with the Sharpshooter 2. Right there, I was hooked. So I started watching more metal detecting videos and was trying to learn and see what they were doing. I said, well, I want a detector that does all this and does all that. So I invested in a F44. I got the F44. I didn't like the teardrop coil that it had on it, that, you know, odd looking shaped coil it had. And so I talked to a friend of mine and got a 12 by 13 coil for it. I started doing real good with that. Well, then that detector got stolen.
Oh,
yeah, it got stolen. And so I needed another detector. So I called the guy that I got the coil from and I bought the Red Racer. I bought the Red Racer.
So upgraded again, basically.
Yeah, because I was watching videos, so I wanted to find more stuff, so I was getting motivation. I wasn't going on people's channel and you know, hating on them, and I said I want to find stuff like that. I want to do that. That's what I want to find. I want to find this, and so I kept getting motivated. I said, well, I need to invest in a better detector. I need to invest. So I got the Red Racer, and I started finding really good stuff with the Red Racer, and then the Impact come out. Well, when the Impact came out, I got that. I got the Impact. And then I started finding even more stuff, and I started learning the detector every day. Even after I got off work, even if it's 45 minutes, an hour, whatever, I would take that detector with me to work. I'd stop somewhere at a park, and I would just use that detector and started learning. Then I got a garden, and I buried some coins, and I started practicing. Okay, this is what this reads. This is this. You know, just different nails, pull tabs, dimes, quarters, nickels, anything that I could bury to learn that detector. That's what I was doing. And then I would read the manual and it tells me this and this and that. So I started tweaking with the Impact. And then I started getting more depth and I started finding more stuff and I started learning how to separate the target and that. And so I started doing really, really good with the Impact. So Note the Macro noticed that. So I talked with the Note the Macro team. I talked with DLEC, and we went back and forth, you know, collabing and, you know, learning stuff from what they were telling me. And then I was constantly using that detector. If you don't use that detector, you'll never learn it. If you just sit it in and want to take it out for a weekend and let it sit up the rest of the week, you'll never learn that detector. So I was going out every day. So then they come out with the multi-cruiser. Well, I had to have that too because I wanted a waterproof detector. The Impact is not waterproof.
There you go.
So I got the multi-cruiser. I got that, and I started finding more stuff, but I noticed I wasn't getting as much depth as I was with the Impact, you know, and so I worked with the cruiser, learned that detector, and then Note the Macro contacted me and said they were coming out with Anfibio. I said, Anfibio? I've heard of that Benio that they have, but I never heard of the Anfibio. So they sent me some information on the Anfibio, and they said, okay, they're going to ship out this such and day, and we'll have them ready, and I'm going to ship yours out. I said, all right. So they shipped it out to me. I got it. It was not much to learn for me because it's a Note the Macro detector, and so it wasn't a large learning curve for me. So when I got the Anfibio, I could turn that detector on. I could pretty much set it up how I set the impact or the cruiser up, and I started with that and started learning the detector. And I said, man, this detector is giving the impact a run for its money, you know. And then I started finding 13-inch coins and 14-inch coins. I was like, oh man, this detector is nice. And that's pretty much how I got started, from cornrow hunting to metal detecting. And I started with a sharpshooter 2, went to the F-44, went to the racer, the red racer, then from the impact to the multi-cruiser, now with the Anfibio. I still got all.
And how many years have you been doing this now? Not all that long, really.
No. I haven't been 3 years, 3.5 years, almost 4 years.
Nice. And when you, I guess when you got the Anfibio, somewhere along the line, from the sharpshooter up to the Anfibio, somewhere along there, you must have decided you needed a bigger shovel.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I did. Because, okay, the shovel that I'm using now is the shovel that I was using when I first started.
Oh, okay.
And see, White contacted me. Oh, I think I had my red racer. And they contacted me, and one of the guys there said, hey, he shot me an email, and he said, hey, I'm such and such guy. I'm with White Detectors. We've been watching your videos. And he says, hey, would you like to try one of our groundhog shovels? And this is when they first come out with the groundhog. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then, so we talked a little bit, you know, about detecting and stuff like that. And so he said, okay, I'm going to send that out to you. So they sent me out the orange groundhog, and you'll see it in my videos. In my earlier videos, I was using the groundhog. Well, some people say it could have been the first batch, but then while I was detecting, the ground is harsh. It's hard. It's like concrete.
Yeah.
And so it was bending that groundhog. It was bending it. And then one day I was digging a plug, and it was a hard spot there, and I was trying to pry that plug open, and that groundhog snapped.
Yeah, it definitely. Snapped. That Texas dirt ain't easy to dig in.
Oh no, it's not easy. It's not mild dirt here at all. I mean, if you run across mild dirt here and you get an easy plug, it's because it's field dirt. It's not original dirt. The original dirt here, it's like cement. It's hard. It's hard.
Oh yeah, yep. Definitely, absolutely. So what sort of digger are you using now for your shovel, or your hand digger for that matter?
Well, I use I have that Garrett digger, but it's dull. It's everything. It's done fell apart. But I had it for a while, and I'm using. I had got a shovel from hand digger from Kelly Co. It's just one of those basic orange diggers. You know, it's nothing spectacular about it, but I don't really need a good hand digger. Because I mean, I think any hand digger will dig a small plug, there's nothing deep. But the shovel that I'm using now, the big shovel, is just the basic Samson T handle, and it's about to give out. But I'm going to use it till it breaks, and then I get another one.
Well, and there again, like you said, it may be about to give out, but people have to stop and realize too that you dig in a completely different environment because of that Texas dirt and everything. Sometimes, especially during the warmer months, that's like concrete.
It gets hard. I mean, we'll get some rain, but we don't get that much rain. And when it does, that's a good time to go detecting here, because it softens up that ground and you can get more depth, and it's soft. But when we have that dry month where we hardly get any rain, we just get a lot of wind and no rain, that ground gets hard really, really quick. And so, yeah, I'll be getting another foot shovel before too long.
Right. And I don't know, like up here in Ohio, a lot of times, like you said, down there, especially after it rains, that's a great time to get out. The ground's easier to dig in. The signals are better. You get more depth. But then when we get into the warmer summer months too, especially in a dry season, our ground can get a little hard to dig in. We're not getting quite as much depth because there's no moisture there or anything. And it's a real workout trying to get to some of these targets.
That's right. That's right. I experienced that a lot. And I've noticed when I went out yesterday, we went to this old military base and went out there before, and the ground was dry. Really wasn't getting no really good depth, 6 inches, But when we went out yesterday, we were getting depth. The signals was clearing up. I mean, really good. That's why I was surprised that I got 6 silvers yesterday when I've been out there before. And I think I've got, 3 or 4, something like that. A couple of times I've been out there, but yesterday you could tell that ground was different. The only thing that was kind of throwing the detector off was a lot of moisture in that ground. As you could see when we were trying to make plugs, it was so, much water in the ground that when I pulled that shovel up, there was just mud on it. So, we couldn't make good plugs with all that mud and stuff, but it was throwing the Anfibio off on depth. And a lot of people was, messaging me, is your detector accurate on depth? So depending on ground conditions, I don't think no detector will tell you exactly 7 inches or exactly 9 inches. It's going to be, a little bit maybe deeper, a little bit more, shallow. But, it was telling me, 10 inches, 11 inches. I said, there's no way, and I dig it, and it was only like maybe 6 inches or 9 inches, So it was messing with the Anfibio a little bit on the depth meter, but as far as telling me, giving me a good, VDI, yeah, the Anfibio was liking that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you could tell watching the video that the signals were very crisp. The audio was very good.
Yes. And I got fooled. I got fooled a few times,
Well, we all get fooled.
I come across, and it sounds so good, and I should have seen that, but I was so excited because I had found something already, and we hadn't been there that long, so I was kind of excited, and I was more going off the tone instead of looking at my BDI. I go off my BDI for a little bit, when I first look at a signal, but then I don't use my BDI. I'm going by the sound now. I'm listening to see if it's choppy. I'm listening to see if it's crackly. I'm listening to see if it's clear. And if it's clear and I start circling that target, to make sure, see if it's masked or if I can isolate it or what, see if the BDI is going to fluctuate, is it going to, what's it going to do? And then I dig it. But some of those targets could fool you, and I got fooled a few times yesterday. Well, more than a few times, but
well, and that's another one of the things that I love about your videos, because you show the reality of what it's like when we're out there digging. Sometimes we'll run across that signal that sounds just so great we can't pass it up. Of course, we try to dig it all anyway. Right. And then you get that plug open and you're like, oh man, it's just a piece of metal, sorry. I thought it was going to be something good, but hey, that's all right. We got it out of the ground. We'll get on to the next target. And then when you do find something good, like say the 1915 Barber Quarter or the SLQ or even the Button, you're just so excited about it. Then you can tell watching your videos that you're really out there just to have fun and enjoy things and bring other people along. And if you find something good, great. That's a bonus on top.
That's right. And that's all I try to do. I don't try to go out there and try to outdo anyone, or try to brag or anything like that. I just love the hobby. I like getting out there and finding stuff. And I kind of, put myself out there where I don't want, if I don't find anything, I'm not going to post a video. I didn't post one last week because I didn't find anything. I went out, but I didn't find anything. You know, I found some clad and stuff like that, but no one wants to see that. And I don't think that's what I don't want on my channel. I want to show some good stuff on my channel. You know, I want to share. I'm not out to outdo nobody. I'm not out to criticize anybody. I'm not trying to criticize what machine they use. And I get a lot of that. A lot of you guys, you know, don't see it, but you know, a lot of people have my email, and you know, I get emails every day. You know, like 50 or more emails, messenger, and you know, and some people are nasty.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, when you put yourself out there like that, you either have a thick skin to begin with, or you develop it quick, because YouTube, social media, things like that, there's a lot of trolls, there's a lot of haters, there's a lot of drama, and a lot of people lose focus on, you know, whatever happened to just, let's get out there and have a good time and enjoy the hobby and be happy for what people are finding and not criticize them because they're not using brand X or whatever.
And that's exactly what I say. We don't have to have a competition, you know, trying to outdo each other. You know, if you go out and you find something, share it with us. That's cool. You know, I'm not here to hate on anyone. I'm more of a congratulator. If you find something, I'll tell them, hey, I want to find something like that. You know, I'm not, oh, you know, I don't do that. You know, I try not to be negative. And I've learned to get a thick skin. I mean, it takes a lot to really get up under my skin. But when they get nasty to where they're calling you names and telling you to go back to the jungle and calling you the N-word, you know, stuff like that, you know, that's really unnecessary. No one has to do any name calling. You know, we can all support each other. This is supposed to be a community that everyone enjoys the hobby. Everybody loves getting out there and finding stuff and sharing their finds and making videos and showing them whatever, however they do it. You know, that's what it's supposed to be all about. It's supposed to be a fun hobby, not a competition to where we're bashing each other.
Right, yeah. Whatever happened to being supportive and, oh, wow, did you see what Darnell found? That's great. That's inspirational. That's motivation for me. I want to get out there and find something cool. Something like that.
That's exactly how I watched the 100 GT. I watched Plug Master Ford and I watched Missouri Mike. You know, I even told him, hey, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. And I remember Missouri Mike's exact words. Remember, if you start a channel, not everyone is gonna like your channel. That's the exact words he told me.
Right, you know, you're never gonna keep them all happy.
That's right. And so he said, don't get discouraged. I remember his exact words. You know, I got motivation from him, from Plug Master, from the 100 GT, from the Hoover Boys, to Down South Detecting, Northeast Detecting. I mean, I would watch all these guys' channels before I even start metal detecting. And then when I see what they're finding, that motivated me to invest more, get a better detector, learn the detector, learn technique, learn this, learn that. So I was constantly doing it for the first 2 years. That's what I was doing, was constantly learning how to separate targets, unmask targets, investigate a target, you know, just different techniques, and talking to the old timers. So I was putting all that in and I was putting it to use. If I was going to invest in a high dollar detector, not high dollar, but a more upgraded detector from what I started with, I had to learn that detector. I had to learn what that detector was telling me, how to use it, how to tweak it. I had to learn all that. So every day I was putting hours and hours and hours on my detectors. And then so I had developed the technique so good, and I'm not perfect. Trust me, I'm not perfect at all, but I developed the technique to where I can pretty much say, no, don't do that target, or investigate that target. I'm always going to investigate a target. That's why I always 360 a target. On all my videos, you'll never see me just do a one swing and just keep going. If I get that sound that I'm looking for and the BDI number that I see, once I see that number, I kill the BDI. Now I'm listening for the sound. I'm listening for crackling. I'm listening for breakage. I'm looking for all that. So I circle that target, because remember, when you got a coin and trash land, it'll hit a certain way. That's why people say, I didn't hit it this way, but I came this way and I hit it. I hit the
Right.
target.
Right.
So if a coin is certain laying a certain way next to trash, I'm gonna always circle that target, swinging my coil, and see if I can get the angle and see if I can isolate that target from the trash. And that's why you'll see me start scrubbing, because I'm trying to isolate that target. And then I see that BDI and I see that number, then I'm gonna dig it. A lot of times I get fooled, but that's how I found a lot of my silver is unmasked target, circling that target, isolating that target, listening to what that detector's telling me. And I found a lot of silver when a lot of people walked over it because they heard that and they just said, oh, it's nothing, it's trash. You know,
Right.
so
Yeah, and that's a truism too, right there. That's very wise. Like you said, you know, you're working the coil, you're listening to the audio. You want to hear if it's masked, if it's a clear signal, what's going on. And if it's enough there that you've got a little doubt, you're digging it.
I'm digging it. That's right. I'm gonna dig it. That's right. I'm gonna dig it.
A lot of people miss those good targets, and that's exactly why they miss those good targets. Is because they put too much faith in the VDIs or something like that, and they're,
Oh, no, I heard that iron grunt. There's nothing good there. I'm moving on.
Yep.
And that's not always the case. I mean, and we see many times demonstrated in your videos where you cut that plug and you're like, oh yeah, right there's the coin. Oh look, there's a piece of foil or something with it.
Yes, sir. And another thing I learned, a lot of people, when I got the Anfibio, when I got the Impact, when I got the multi-cruiser, the first thing they asked me, how deep does it go? How deep is it? How deep is it?
It's a loaded question.
Yeah, it is, because a lot has to do with depth. You know, ground is a main factor in depth.
That's right.
You know, conditions. So if I'm getting a 7-inch plug here, you might get a 4-inch plug or even deeper plug. I don't know. I don't know ground condition. I can only speak from Texas ground. But me, what I look for before depth, and I explained this in a lot of my videos when I reviewed the Impact, when I reviewed the Cruise, when I reviewed the Anfibio. The first thing I want to know on my detectors is how good can they separate a target and how good can they unmask a target. I don't care about depth right now, because we got to remember, this hobby's been around a long time, and all the clean signals is pretty much gone. You'll run across them here and there, but pretty much all of them are gone. Now, all the targets that's out there is either masked targets. They're masked by something. They've been left because all the clear signals, everybody went after the clear signals. Now you gotta change the strategy and start finding, you know, a detector that can unmask and separate targets, because a lot of the coins now are masked by some trash. They're masked. And if you can't unmask a target and you're just looking for clean signals, somebody that can unmask a target is going to come right behind you and they're going to get what you missed every time. If it's a seasoned detector who knows what he's doing, while the other people are looking for just that clean, crisp signal, if it ain't that, they're moving on. A seasoned detector is going to come and they're going to hear that something that's going to get them to stop to investigate that target, and they're going to get what you missed. Now, once I'm at a spot where I know it's clean, it's not as trashy, I'm looking at some depth. But if you can't get past all the trash, there's no need to worry about what's deep. You're not going to get to it if you can't get past the trash.
That's right, and that's the beauty of the day and age that we're in now, is the technological advances that they've made. Like you said, sometimes it's not so much a game of depth as it is a game of separation, and with the separation comes the ability to unmask those targets that are masked. And that's what we're seeing with these newer machines, like the Deus, the Equinox, the Anfibio, the Impact, the ORX. I know the Impact with the shooter coil, it is just wicked in the trashy areas.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And I'm going to put some more videos out with the Impact. I have the shooter coil and I have the 15-inch coil for it. And I'm going to do some more videos because a lot of people are wanting to see more videos with the Impact. You know, I'm going to do some more with the Impact and the multi-cruiser. But I'm going to order I'm gonna get the coil that comes on the Anfibio for the multi-cruiser because they're interchangeable. I can use my Anfibio coil on my multi-cruiser.
Nice.
It works. So those coils are interchangeable. I don't think you can take the coil off the multi-cruiser and put it on the Anfibio, but all the aftermarket coils that Note the Macro has now for the Anfibio will work on the multi-cruiser. It won't work on the Impact, but it'll work on the multi-cruiser.
Very nice. And I see too we've got some Canadian friends in the chat as well. As a matter of fact, Clive Clinique is in there, and I don't know if you've had the opportunity to read many of his books, but I have, and that's one of the things that he stresses in many of his books is you've got to spend time with your machine. There's no better way to learn that machine and understand what it's telling you than being out there in the field with it. And most importantly, you've got to listen to those tones.
That's right. That's right. And that's why if you see, when I first got all my detectors, I didn't post videos because I was out. I go to a park. These parks are hunted out here, but that's okay when I first get a detector because I want to go out there and just dig anything. Whatever beeps, I'm digging it. Everything from pull tabs to trash to coins. Whatever I find, I want to dig because I want to learn that ID. I want to see what it's telling me. I want to learn the sound. I want to do all that. So I just take it out and just mess around with it every day. That's what I was doing every day, hours and hours and hours. And then I take it to my garden, and then I got coins buried, and I would go over them, and I see the depth, pretty much what I can get, what I'm working with. I got coins that are masked by trash. I learned how I can get an angle on that. And so I'm learning detectors. So when I do go out, I won't make myself look like a fool.
Right. Well, and I like to do that myself too. When I get a new machine, I'll head for one of those spots that everybody says, oh, that's hunted out. You're not going to find anything there, because I want to see what that machine's capable of. I'm going to go in, I'm going to dig everything, I'm going to see what it unmasks. And many times I leave well rewarded for my effort.
That's right. I want to learn. I want to know the capability of my detectors, all of them. I know the capability of my racer, my Impact, my multi-cruiser, and the Anfibio. I know what they can do. I know what they can't do. I know their advantages. I know their disadvantages. I know how to tweak the Impact to where I can get more depth than what it gets. If I run my Impact in a certain way, it will match the Anfibio in depth. But the disadvantage of that is it don't show a BDI as deep as the Anfibio. And
exactly. Pros and cons.
Yeah, it's pros and cons. But as far as unmasking, the Anfibio, the multi-cruiser, and the Impact, they can unmask targets. Even with the stock coil, they can unmask targets.
Yes, they can.
They are deadly with the stock coil. And if you get a smaller coil on either one, I have the smaller coil for the Anfibio. It's not the small one. It's the 9-inch. I have that one, and it does pretty good. That coil even got depth. It got depth.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times, even for those who may not be able to have, say, a different size coil for their machine, and they've just got the stock coil, if they spend enough time with it, they'll learn how they can work that even in the trashy areas. Slow down, take your time, be patient, and you can work those coils to your advantage.
And also, if you notice on these detectors they're coming out with now from Mind Lab, from Note the Macro, from all these different companies, they're more focused on developing those detectors, not much as depth, they put depth on them, but they're designing these detectors to unmask and separate targets.
Right, we're going to make them lighter, faster, rechargeable, waterproof.
That's right, because if they were worried about depth, they wouldn't worry about how fast the machine could process. Because when you're searching for deep targets, you want to swing slow. You're not swinging
Exactly.
fast.
Exactly.
So they're focusing these detectors. They're designing these detectors to be fast, to separate, and to unmask, coming off one target going to another one. Depth is just a bonus. That's just a bonus on these detectors now. Now they're developing fast processing. That's when you have a detector that's fast, it's because it's built to unmask and separate targets.
Exactly, because it's no big secret that obviously once you're going for separation and you've got that faster processor like that, that's exactly what that's geared for, is for the separation and the unmasking. You're not trying to punch a hole to the core of the earth or anything.
That's right. That's right.
Just move slow with it and let the thing amaze you, basically.
That's right. And if you spend time with that detector, when you get that detector, because a lot of people, I'm constantly answering emails every day on how to set up the Anfibio or when I got the cruiser, the Impact. Well, the first thing I tell them, did you read the manual? Did you read the manual? And they say, well, what's your setting? Well, I don't have a set setting. I tell everybody I do not have a set setting that I run constantly. What I do is when I'm going out, the first thing I do is I look at the ground and I see what type of ground condition. Is it field dirt? Is it original dirt? Is it mild? Is it harsh? Is it medium? I'm looking at the ground, and then I will set my detector up according to the ground conditions. I can't just run a detector a certain way at this area and then go over here and expect the same. I'm not going to get that. So I'm looking at the ground. I examine the ground, see what it looks like, see what I'm dealing with. Then I set my detector up accordingly to the ground conditions, and then I get better results, and I do that. Now, if I see when I'm digging plugging, I say, well, this dirt over here looks different from this dirt here, and my tracking is telling me that the ground condition is changing, then I'm adjusting my detector. I'm adjusting as I go. I don't have a set, setting that I keep my detector doing.
Because you're understanding what it's telling you. And I think we've got a gentleman on who's been kind of looking forward to talking with you a little bit. How's it going, Chuck?
Pretty good, Josh. Hello, Darnell.
How you doing, Chuck?
Pretty good, buddy. Pretty good. I've been watching your videos with great interest, and you bring forth a real exuberance and happiness and fun to watch, and you're doing just what people like to watch, and you're bringing forward now. I watched your informational one on the Anfibio here recently, and I called Josh and I told him he ought to hook up with you and get on there, and I know the lake, and I've been using the NOC macro equipment for a few years, and people just don't realize how good their machines are if you take the time, just like you're talking, to learn what you're using, and they're a great little detector.
Yes, they are. Thank you for the kind words. But yes,
oh, no problem. You bring forth some happiness in watching what we're doing. I mean, seeing you do what we love to do. It isn't this we gotta do every day, and this kind of stuff. We have to have a certain target, and we have to do that. You just get out there, and I get a big kick out of your laughter, and you hit something good, yelling "Hello, world," and it just makes me chuckle.
That's what I was going to say. I can't help but smile every time he starts to laugh and looks and says, "Hello, world."
I do get a little excited, even over a mercury diamond.
Yes, you do. And, and that's what our hobby should be about. Literally, just, we're out there in a hobby. We're supposed to be happy, not sticking it to everybody or be upset because we didn't clean house today.
Yeah. And I mean, the silver that I find, it's not, I mean, it's silver, but it's nothing old. I'm not finding, Spanish silver, all that stuff, but I'm finding, silver that anybody can really find. It's common. A lot of people find mercury dimes, Roosevelts, Walkers, we all find those. But when you see it in the ground, you know,
Yeah.
when you see it coming out of that ground, I don't know about everybody else, but I get a little excited.
Absolutely.
You can imagine
Yeah.
what level of excitement I get if I pull, you know, a 1 real, or 8 real, or, you know, something like that. You know, I might start banging off the wall somewhere, doing backflips.
You know, you've done exactly what you should be doing. You're out there learning a machine. Once you know what that thing's telling you and talking to it, and the settings are correct for the area you're in, all soils across the country seem to be different. I watch you down there, and you understand what you're doing with the machine you have there, and it's killer. It's fun to watch.
Thank you. It's fun. I really enjoy the hobby. That's why I didn't know if I was really going to, you know, like the hobby as well as I do. But when I found that first silver coin, I was hooked. I was hooked after that. But then, you know, I kept watching videos, and I was learning from a lot of people on the videos and seeing how they was doing stuff. So I said, if I want to find stuff that they're finding, I got to invest. I got to do something. And so I started doing that, and I started, you know, spending time and learning that detector. And, you know, at first, you know, you have your, you know, you have your quitting points, but if you keep going and you start finding more stuff, it just motivates you. And then you find this stuff, want to share it, and then, you know, you're hoping people are happy for you, you know. I mean, I just get happy when I find it, and I'm glad I got into the hobby. I love the hobby, you know, and I love talking with people who enjoy the hobby as much as I do. You know, I don't want to try to be negative to anybody or anybody's channel. You know, if I don't like their channel, I just won't watch it. I'm not going to criticize nobody. I'm not going to keep nobody of anything. If they're planting coins or whatever, that's on them. You know, I can go to sleep at night, every night when I go detecting, knowing, you know, even though I've gotten accused of it because I find so much silver, but people finding more silver than me, but I've gotten accused of it, and, you know, I can go to sleep at night, every night, knowing in my heart that I've never planted a coin. I don't have to plant a coin for the purpose. And so I don't have a conscience or guilty conscience saying I'm fooling these people or this and that. I don't have to, you know, go to bed at night. I can go to bed happy that I found a silver dime or a silver quarter, and I got to share it with everybody, and I'm good.
Exactly.
Good. Good on you. That's great. I mean, and that's the way I view it, and I always have. And if they could just see the loads of junk, you know, for each coin, how much junk do you dig? You know, but the thing is, and you guys were dead on a little while ago on this, picking up the speed on the processors, and we're in this big battle. We've talked about this quite a bit, that they're trying to make them better, faster, more understandable, easier to use, and they have, and we're winning if you take the time to learn the machine you got in your hand. And there's been a lot of books out of there. You have Clive on here tonight, and he's written quite a few books. I've read his books.
Oh yeah, I've read a number of his books.
Yes, and he's dead on what he's trying to teach you.
And you get, you know, I've got some criticism saying, oh, you know, the Anfibio or the Impact, whatever detector I'm using, you know, or it can't do this, or it's not better than this. I've never, ever, you can watch any of my videos, I've never, ever told anyone to buy any detector I use. What I tell them is, buy the detector that works for you.
Exactly.
What works not work for you. You know, so I never tell anybody to go buy this detector. Go buy this detector. Oh, you're gonna find this if you buy. Don't go buy that. I don't criticize Fisher, Technetics, Garrett, Mind Lab, Dan. I don't criticize none of them. I always say the best detector is the detector you use most. That's the best detector.
Right. The best one is the one that works for you.
That's right.
Tell you what, I've got guys using the low to the mid-range detectors, and they're killing it because they've taken the time, they've used them long enough, they know their area and conditions that they're working in because they've learned it. And they learn how to squeak just about the most out of that detector they have, and they kill it. And it doesn't have to be a $2,000 one. It can be a $400 one if they've taken the time to learn that machine. They do pretty well with them. And we had a lady here, and she got to know a little Ace 250 inside and out, and she'd come out in group hunts and just knock it dead with that little machine. And people just couldn't understand that. She knew, and I watched her dig a woman's gold pocket watch. And I mean, this was a good one. This was all gold. This wasn't gold filled. And with 8-10 guys not far from her at a group hunt, and they just stopped dead in their tracks. It was only maybe 5-6 inches deep, but everybody that was with her had been right through there. And she popped that with an Ace 250.
Wow. Nice. Well, it just goes to show you can have the best equipment in the world, but if you don't know what that machine is telling you, you're going to get your butt handed to you.
That's right. And you know what happens? They get mad and they sit that detector up in the corner and it sits there. So you just lost your money for the detector because it's just sitting up in the corner now, and you're not spending any time with it because you're not finding stuff that somebody else is finding with that detector. Well, because that person is spending time with that detector, you'll take it out maybe 1 or 2 days out of the week, and for a short hunt, and you're not learning it. You're not learning that detector, so you can't expect the same results from a person that's putting, hours on that detector, and you're only putting 30 minutes on the detector. It's just like practice. If you practice for a football game, basketball game, if somebody's constantly practicing and getting better, and you go out and practice for 30 minutes, who's going to win the game?
You're right.
Very well put.
You're right. And everybody, and another thing you were talking about, certain diggers not working. After a while, they're bending, they're breaking, they're doing this, and it depends upon how you use them and what soils you're working in. But I've always had pretty good luck with the Lesh equipment and Samson and things like that. Our soils mostly up here, we don't have that super dry, harsh stuff that you're working in down there in Darnell at times. So for the most part, they work very, very well up here. But even the cheaper ones will bend. I mean, I've had people literally stand on a Lesh tool trying to pry something and snap a tip, but it happens rarely, and they stand behind it. And that kind of. So I'm kind of picky on what I sell. Samson's good. We got a gentleman up here, Cedar
River Digger Tools.
Yep, Cedar River Dig Tools. Jim Nelson makes a heck of a shovel. I've used his extensively across the country, and it hadn't failed me yet.
No,
even when I've been out in the rocks.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get one pretty quick. That one I have now, it's got a good bend in it, and so I just know just at any time, it just might bend on me and break like that groundhog did. And so I know I'm going to have to get one, I can't put it off too much longer. I know that. So I'll be looking.
I'll tell you what, Jim Nelson, Cedar River Dig Tools, look him up online, and you can contact him and tell him the type of stuff you're in, and he can even beef it up for you. And I mean, he doesn't sell out to a lot of dealers in that. You have to order direct from him, and I know Jim, and he makes a good piece of equipment.
Yeah, I've actually got one of Jim's shovels that I put through the paces. That's been a year or so ago, where I was in a spot. I was really torquing on that shovel. I was in some heavy clay and things of that nature. I thought for sure that thing was going to let loose on me, and it took it like a champ.
Yeah, I'm before the summer, before it get start hitting that really dry season. I get it. I get another one before this one gives out on me. I was gonna contact White, but there was no need to really give them a hassle since they did ship it to me for free. They gave it to me to try. So
Yep.
I wasn't going to hassle them about it and say, hey, this shovel is broke. Give me another one. You know, I wasn't going to do that. So I just kind of just, bid it. And I said, well, I got this one I started out with, so I can use this one. It's no big deal. I didn't, call White or contact the race. There's no need for that. I mean, they were nice enough to send it to me. So.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. That's nice. There's others out there that there's some great stuff being made, and I get people coming in and they say, I recommend a lash tool to you or a Samson. Oh no, I just get them down at the hardware store. I'm like, it ain't gonna last.
Nope.
It just is not gonna last. They're pop ribbing it here and
they'll be back.
That's right. That's right. Well, thanks for letting me call in, Darnell. You do a great job. Keep those videos coming, and you're going to get. I've seen. Now I know you found some seeded stuff. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Videos. So you're getting some good stuff out there, buddy.
Yes, he
yes,
is.
Sir. I'm gonna keep going. I got a lot of stuff lined up. That I mainly hunt. Private permissions. I don't. I go to parks, and just, mess around but I'm mainly looking for private permissions because I don't want the competition. And a lot of people, that stays here where I stay, they watch my videos and then they'll go backdoor me, so.
Right.
I try to get the private permissions and I always, tell the owners of the property, this is what I do. I don't lie to them. I tell them what I do. And I offer, if there's anything that I find that you think you might want to keep, you're more than welcome to it, and I go it like that. I just try to, hit different areas that I know that no one else is hitting instead of going to the same spot over and over and over and over again. I mean, you don't waste all day not finding anything, so I'm constantly looking on, I use a lot of different apps where I'm looking at old towns, old properties. I use 2 different apps with Google Earth to overlay stuff so I can know exactly where some old stuff might be sitting. And then I go hit those spots that some people might think there's nothing there, and it end up does been something there because I've done some research on it. And that's where I get a lot of my success from is I'm always researching and I'm always looking. I don't never always say, well, I guess I get up and go to this park, or I guess I'm going to get up and go to this one when I know there's tons of people here that metal detect, so my chances of finding anything is pretty close to 0. And so I'm always looking for new areas, and I research. I go there, I contact whoever I need to contact. I get the permission. I wait till I get the permission. Once I get that permission, I'm on that property. I'm looking at that ground. I'm setting up my detector, and I'm ready to go.
Cool. Now, you're down in Texas. Now, I don't know if you're central, southern, east, west, but Texas has got some great history and a little research, and you could probably get into some pretty good, Civil War, all that kind of stuff that lays down in Texas. I mean, you've got a great area. Of course, Texas is pretty big. There's some traveling in there.
It's
right.
Travel.
You got a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, you've got more than an acre or 2. So good luck. Keep those good videos coming, buddy. I enjoy it. You've always put a smile on my face and makes me think back that this is why I do what I'm doing.
Amen.
Right, it's a good reminder.
Videos.
All right. Take care.
Thanks for the call, Chuck.
No problem. Bye-bye.
So, what inspired you or prompted you to start your YouTube channel then?
Well, I was supporting another guy. I was loyal subscriber. Every time he posted a video, I would watch his video. I'm not going to say his name, because now he's kind of mad at me. Well, he's been mad at me. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I know when we stopped talking is whenever I got my impact and I started finding stuff. But when I had my racer, I would go find stuff. Like I said, I was finding these coins before I even had a YouTube channel. I was already going out and finding silver. And so I would shoot him an email. Look what I found today. Look what I found today. Man, you should make a YouTube video. You should make YouTube videos. I was like, nah. And so after he kept convincing me, I made my first YouTube video. And, you know, it did okay, I guess. You know, it was doing good, you know, but then it started growing and growing and growing and growing. And the guy that got me, I wouldn't say got me started, but was saying, man, you should start a YouTube channel. You should start a YouTube channel. I got the impact and I started finding stuff, and I was talking about my settings, and he got mad at me about saying, why would you run that setting? Why would you run that kilohertz? Because I was running the kilohertz, 20 kilohertz. Why would you run that? I don't understand that. You shouldn't run it like that. Well, you can't tell me how to run my detector.
Right.
You know?
I mean, if it works for you, don't fix it.
And so he got upset at me, and he started making these remarks on his videos saying, well, everybody can't find silver like somebody I know. You know, so I knew he was talking to me, and then we were friends with another guy, and he contacted me and contacted him. I said, man, I have no problems with the guy. You know, I don't know why he's trying to bash me in my channel. So he would make, you know, ugly comments and shoot me ugly emails. I just kind of left that on. I'm not going to entertain that negative stuff. You know, if you want to talk to me, I'm just not going to respond to you because I know you're trying to get a reaction.
Exactly.
I'll respond to you. So I just leave it at that. If that's how you feel, I'll leave you feeling like that, you know, and we'll be cool from a distance. I won't contact you. Don't contact me, but I'm not going to go into this word fighting and calling each other names with you. I'm not going to do that. I'm too old for that. So
right.
That's childish. So I just leave you alone, and if that's how you feel, you know, that's how you feel. And now if you want to contact me and say, you know, I apologize, I was wrong, this and that, then we can amend it. But other than that, I won't mess with you. You don't mess with me. I'm not going to go on your channel and talk bad to you or tell people about you. I'm not. That's why I say I'm not going to say no names, because I'm not going to put them out there like that. You know, that's not nobody's business. You know, between me and him. I left it alone long time ago, and I'm gonna leave it alone. So I don't need to stir anything up with anybody. You know, that's not me. That's not my character. You know, I don't go to, you know, start trouble with anybody. That's not me.
Right, and it's pointless too. Anyway, I mean, that to me, when I see people doing that, it's like, what are you doing here? You know, that's energy that you're expending in such a useless fashion, when you could be using that to get out and find something and not be jealous about what the other guy's doing, because you're focused on what you're doing.
Yeah, and if the community was like that, there would be a whole lot of. Now there is some good people out there that's not like that. I know they
right.
I talk to them all the time, but it's those ones that get mad because you're finding stuff and they're going to the same old places over and over and over again. You know, and they're not finding anything, so they get mad and they want to go on people's channel and say they're planting coins or they didn't find it or this and that. You know, I mean, you don't know if that guy planted that corn or not. You wasn't there. You know, I don't know if he planted the corn either. I could really care less if he did or not. That's not why I'm watching your videos, to try to see if you planted a corn. I'm watching it for enjoyment and entertainment and motivation.
Right.
Even though,
like you said earlier. Like you said earlier, you know, if that particular individual, if they may have planted a coin, if they can sleep at night, if they can live with themselves, and that's what does it for them, hey, more power to them. But that's not my game.
That's not my game at all. That's another reason why. You see, I was looking for someone to metal detect with, you know, before, because I wanted to show people I don't go plant coins. I'm researching. That's how I'm finding so much silver. I'm not going to the same old spot. I'm putting myself in a better situation or a better area to where I can have a chance to find something. And so I was saying I'm going to find someone that I can metal detect with so they can see that, you know, I'm not planting coins. Well, there was a few people, but they wasn't in it for the hobby. They was in it for value of what they found. And they was looking for, okay, I'm going to go hunting with you. But then once your back turned, I'm going to go right back to the spot you just took me to. You know, and I'm going to try to. So I noticed that, and so I said, well, that's not going to work because I don't go to find my coins to turn right back around and put them on eBay to sell them. I don't sell any of my stuff. I still have all the coins that I found. I don't sell any of my stuff. So it's not the value of what I find, it's the history of what I find. And so I found a guy that I hunt with now that he's in it for the history, not for the value. And I can trust this guy. You know, so he's got the Anfibio, he's learning the Anfibio, and as we go, you know, he's learning. And so if I find a target that I think it could be a possible good target, I tell him swing your detector over that target before I dig it. So I let him swing his detector over that target so he can see what it sounds like, what it's reading, and then we pop it. If it's good, it ain't. Just like 2 weeks ago, I found 2 Franklin $half, and I let him swing his detector over both of them before we even dug them. Now, this guy has no reason to say, yep, no, or no, he planted that. Yeah, he has no reason for that, you know, at all. And I don't have a reason to plant any coins, you know, I don't. It defeats my purpose of what I do.
Right.
And
if you're out there having fun with it and enjoying the hobby, you got to be out there with like-minded individuals who are in it for the same reasons.
That's right. Don't go in it to try to value. Now, I have found some T-Day coins and some valuable stuff that I did say, what is it worth? You know, I've done that. But at the same time, I still have it. You know, I have it all in my safe. You know, I don't sell anything. I think I've given away some stuff that had value. You know, I've given away detectors. I've given away, you know, silver coins. I gave away gold coins. I've given away a lot of stuff, and I'm about to do a giveaway once I hit 2,500 subscribers, and I got some pretty nice stuff. I've never had just a one single prize when I always have first, second, and third place, and every one of them is good prizes. And so I'm getting ready to do one here, and I'm not far off from 2,500. I think I need maybe 40 more subscribers.
Nice. Yeah, you aren't far at all. You're right there, real close, any day now, for sure. Yeah. What camera do you use for your videos?
Everybody, I've gotten that question a lot too. You know what I use? I use
just your cell phone.
Yeah.
Well, the day and age we're in, it makes it so much easier for many of us because we've all got our phone on us. It's just simpler to grab it to do the video.
And I can't edit real good, you know. And I try not to make my video like that video I made yesterday. It was 40 minutes long, and I didn't think it was that long. Really, I really didn't think it was that long. But as time was going by, I would say, okay, I need to narrow my videos down because they're too long. So, but then if I do that, I put myself in a place to where they say, you didn't dig that. We didn't see you dig it. You just turn the camera on and say, this is what you got. It's like show and tell. And I like to do the live digs. And I like for people to see the VDI and hear the sound and see me working a target and then dip the target. And a lot of that is hard to do with one hand, you know.
Absolutely.
And so it makes my videos a little long. But when they that long, trust me, it's some good stuff in there.
It's worth watching. It's worth taking the time.
Yeah, you won't find a 30-minute video. I'm finding a bunch of garbage and a bunch of clad. It's good. If my videos are long, it's for a reason. I got something good in there. But I really didn't think we were having so much fun and we were finding so much stuff. I really didn't think it was good. When I got done, and I said 40 minutes. I said, how can I cut this down? But if I cut it down, then I have to cut this and I cut that. I said, well, I probably ain't gonna get a lot of views on it because they're gonna see 40 minutes long. So I'm just gonna leave it, and that's what I did.
Right. Well, I watched the whole thing, and it was a very good video. So kudos to you. I mean, those were some nice finds for sure, definitely. And I'm sure that there's been some people that probably tuned in to see. We're getting there towards the end, but there's probably been people that tuned in just to hear how you set up your Anfibio. But we should probably preface this with, if you want to go into discussing some of your settings and things, and let people know, just because it works for you in your area doesn't necessarily mean that it will work the same for them in their area.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll tell you how. I do have a video. I think it was maybe last month or maybe month, it might have been in January, where I was getting a lot of people. Like I said, I get messages all day, every day. So they were asking me, how do you set your Anfibio up? So I did a video showing, okay, this is the area I'm hunting. I'm going to set my Anfibio up. So I showed them everything step by step, how I set my Anfibio up. And then I went hunting. But what I usually do is when I get out there and I learned this about the Anfibio, it's a lot of things I've learned about the Anfibio to kill the chatter. And as you can see in my video yesterday, and other videos, unless I'm up on that power line, I've killed the chattering altogether on my Anfibio. It doesn't chatter. And I was running 4-tone yesterday in 5 kilohertz. And so it wasn't chattering at all. And usually you don't get any chattering when you hear it, when you run it in 3-tone, but when you run it in 4, 5 and deep, it chatters a lot. Well, I killed the chattering running in 4-tone yesterday. And so what I do is after I look at the ground and see how the ground is, I set my Anfibio up. I usually hunt in 4-tone. That's how I usually hunt in 4-tone. I get more depth in 4-tone, but I don't get the really fast recovery speed like I do in 3-tone. But 4-tone is deeper than 3-tone. And so I set it up in 4-tone. I always run my gain, 0 gain. And then when I go to my notch, I notch out everything from 96 and above, because no coin that I've ever dug rung up over a 95 on the detectors that I use. So on the Anfibio, if you notch out 96 and above and notch 0, but if you like to hear the iron, turn your, when you go to your tone volume, you turn your iron up or down. I always run my iron volume at 1 or 2. I run my mid-tones, in between there, 2 or 3. But I keep my high tones up high. I keep that volume up high. Now, there's a setting on the Anfibio that's called the tones. Now, when you turn it on, you'll see where it says F1, F2, F3, all that. Well, if you hit select and you can adjust your tones, I take my tones to my high tones, I run it all the way up to 80. Now, the Hunter GT, he runs his at 75, but I run mine at 80. When you run it at 80, you'll see that high tone really pop out at you. I mean, it's loud, it's pop, it's something there. That's how I do on my tones and my tone volumes. On my iSat, I run my iSat at 1. Now, you can run it all the way up to 10, but if you run your iSat all the way up to 10, and when you run it up to 10, you detect it in really, really harsh dirt, really hard dirt. But if you run it all the way up to 10, you will lose a lot of depth if you run it up to 10. If you run it to 0, I think Calabash, he ran his Anfibio at 0. Well, if you run it at 0, that's for really mild dirt. It's not harsh, so 0 will be good if you're detecting mild soil. 0 is the way to go. But if you're running medium soil, run it at 1. I run mine at 1. On my kilohertz, I start out at 14 kilohertz, but I like to do 5 and 20 kilohertz more than, especially 20 kilohertz more than I do 14 and 5 kilohertz.
Right.
The 20 kilohertz really pop on small dimes. I mean, it'll really hit that small dime. If it's deep, that 20 kilohertz will knock it out of the water. And on the Anfibio, if you run 5 kilohertz in deep mode, you will see the Anfibio loves 5 kilohertz in deep mode. It loves it. I don't know about what it is with that setting, but 5 kilohertz in deep mode, it's yes, it's good. But if
Right.
if you notch out all that deep iron from 96 and above, you will notice on your detector on the Anfibio that the chattering comes all the way down because it's a high gain detector. And another thing, you don't have to run the Anfibio gain all the way up in the 90s. You don't have to do that. Yeah, I mean, it's already a sensitive detector. I never run mine over 85, never. And if I'm running 85 and I'm still getting that little chattery, I would notch it down all the way, from 85 and I go to 84, 80 until I get the machine stable.
Exactly.
You don't have to do that in 3-tone. 3-tone, you can run it up past 90 and it's stable. It won't chatter at all. But you won't get the depth like you do in 4 and 5-tone. You'll get really, really, really fast recovery speed. But if you're swinging you're not swinging, super fast. 4-tone and 5-tone has a really fast recovery speed. It's just not as fast as 3-tone, but it's really fast. And that's what I'm mainly hunting is 4-tone.
Right. And one of the interesting things that I picked up through there, too, is that you happened to mention about running down to 0, and you mentioned Calabash Digger runs his all the way down to 0. But you also mentioned, too, that works good in mild ground. So there again, fine example, what works in one area may not work in the other.
That's right. And Calabash even said in his video when he was working with Anfibio, I'm at mild soil.
Exactly.
So I'm running it at 0. And if you read your manual, you'll see on your ISAT, if you run that ISAT up to 10, it's for harsh dirt, but the higher you run that ISAT, the more depth you're going to lose.
Exactly. That and a lot of people, I don't know, Calabash, he gets a lot of flack. So he has comments disabled on his videos. But a lot of people don't take the time to listen to what he has to say because he does explain it.
He does,
just like you were saying.
He does explain it. He does a really good job at explaining, how detectors work. But remember, he's showing you what he's doing. But you always got to remember, ground conditions, location is key.
It's a huge factor.
It's a huge factor because the ground is different everywhere. And what works for Calabash, what works for me, might not work for the next guy. And that's why you got to spend time on that detector to learn what's working for you, whatever detector you're using, how is it working? How can I better use the detector? Because if you're going off what somebody else is doing is not in the same area, you're not going to get the same result at all.
That's right. Chances are good what you're going to get is you're going to get yourself frustrated.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly what happens. You'll get frustrated, and then you say, oh, this detector is not doing nothing. I'm not finding anything. And, well, for one, you're not probably learning the detector. For two, you're probably not running it right. For three, you probably didn't even read your manual on how to set the detector up, and you're not putting any time with it. So, of course, you're not going to find anything. If you got it out of the box, you contact, hey, give me your settings. They give you your settings. You go out there and you don't find anything. Now you're upset. Now that detector's probably going to sit in the corner, and you're going to wait for the next detector to come out, and then you're going to get that detector.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how many times it never ceases to amaze me. I'll see people post on Facebook, hey, I just ordered this machine. It's coming in next week. Do you have any good programs for me?
Yeah.
You're starting out on the wrong foot already.
That's right. That's right. You haven't even got, when they told me that they were sending me the Anfibio, I was trying to find whatever I could on the Anfibio because I wanted to see what it was and how they were performing it. And it was all in the UK. And so when I got my Anfibio, I knew right then and there that people were going to ask me. So I knew I had to try to learn this detector quick. It's not really a big learning curve for me because to me the Anfibio is like a impact and multi-cruiser crunched up in one with a different coil design. And you can see the Anfibio has some features of the impact and it has some features of the multi-cruiser.
Right, and with using both of those previously, I'm sure that it didn't take much at all for you to acclimate to the navigation and the tones and all of that for the Anfibio.
It didn't take long at all. It didn't take, but I was really impressed. I was even talking to another guy. Why did they change the coil design? That coil design on the Impact and the Multi-Cruiser, it's a beast. It separates. Why did they change it? Why did they make it more round? But then that coil surprised me. It surprised me. It did do good. It did do better than what I thought originally that it would do. It's a good coil, good design, right. And it's super light detector. It's a good detector. I like it.
Oh, absolutely. And note to macro, they have been around for a while, and they're gaining more and more of a presence here in the U.S. every day. They're putting out some good machines.
They are, and a lot of people say, well, why buy note to macro? I can't even get nowhere if it breaks or whatever. I have to ship it in. What note to macro is they're having a center here in America. There's going to be built a repair center. Send it there to get repaired. Now, until that happens, which is, I think they're supposed to have it up, I think maybe this summer or somewhere. I can't remember what the leak told me. But you send them a video of what the problem is with your detector, and they'll send you the part to that detector, and they'll send you a video on how to repair it. It's not hard because either it's the coil or it's the control module, the box. And it's just a few screws that you untake and you unplug something, and they send you the part, you plug it in, put the screws in it, and you're ready to go. Take 5 minutes.
Right. And you're right. They are working on getting a service center here in the U.S. As a matter of fact, that may be up now. If not, it's going to be any day now. I have heard some information coming through about that. And that is a big bonus because myself, much like many of the other people, were going, well, but what happens if there's a warranty issue or something? But like you said, they will explain it to you. They'll walk you through it. And now we don't even have to worry about that with the service center being incorporated into the U.S.
That's right. And if trust, if you have a problem with any of their machines, they're on it. They don't waste no time. They don't delay and say, well, this, and this 2 or 3 weeks before you hear from them. They get right on it. If you do your part and say, this is the problem I have, and you send it to them, they're going to get right there and say, this is what it is. We're going to send you this part. They're going to ship it right out. Not weeks later. They're going to ship it out the next day, and you'll have it. You'll get the tracking information, all that, to let you know it's coming, and they'll send you a video. This is what you can take these bolts out. You unplug that. Take that out, stick it on in, plug it back up, put the screws in, it's good to go. That fast. They got good customers.
Yeah, absolutely they do. And they are. They're right on top of it, like you said. Definitely doing a great job. Definitely doing a great job.
Now a lot of people have been asking me too. Now I did give out some false information because I thought and I might have heard the leak wrong or whatever, but I thought that the machines they're going to come out with the new multi-frequency detector that's going to run off all the frequencies simultaneously. I thought it was going to be out like in April, May, somewhere around in there. But it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be this year that detector's going to come out. They came out with it's called the Simplex this year. And it's an entry-level detector. And that detector for entry-level detector, wireless headset, waterproof. I mean, it's a good detector for entry-level. I think it starts out at $300, $400, something like that.
Yeah, I've been sharing the video around. That is something else. And we've got Chuck back on with us because he's got some information to share with us at this point, I do believe.
Okay.
Yeah, your service center is North Georgia Detectors. Van Boone, good friend of mine. He's taken over that duty for Delete and Company there, and he's running. He's up and going.
That's what I was thinking.
I knew it was soon. I knew it was soon from the last time I talked to D-Leg. I knew it was coming, so I just wasn't for sure.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was up and running, but I didn't want to get my foot in the mouth and figured, well, I'll let you break that news,
That's
Chuck.
all right. I've talked to Van all the time, and we've been good friends for many, many years and hunted together quite a bit and traveled some. And, he took that over, and they're up and running, and he is the factory service center. That's where you want to send it to at this time. He's fully with them.
There you go, guys.
So there you go.
And it's nice to have a service center here in the U.S., and that really adds to it and helps things move forward. And I had a racer that had to be sent in, and they were pretty quick about getting it back to you, but it's still a bit of time getting it there. DHL does a good job getting it back, but one of my customers had a racer that went down, and then they had some coil issues and things like that. But now you have a center in the United States, and I know Van, and he does a pretty good job on stuff.
Yep,
There you go.
I figured I thought about saying something, then I'm like, nah, we'll just wait, because I'm sure if Chuck's still listening, he'll call back in and make that announcement for us.
There you go. There you go, Chuck. Appreciate that.
Nah, no problem. No problem. I mean, I like the detector, and they've been kind of slow in coming, but they want to be right on top. Their goal is to be there, and it will no longer be called NACA Macro. They're going under one heading, I believe, of NACA shortly, and they're bringing it all together, and they're out there for the long run.
And they're pushing hard.
Yes.
Yeah, they are, and I'm very impressed. I got to use. The leak sent me a Anfibio last September, and was using it in October, November before we went into the depth of winter here, and it started rather quick, so it kind of shut us down for a while, and I was very impressed, and I've been impressed with your settings and the work you've been able to continue to do, because you don't get snowed in quite like we do and froze up. And it's good to know, and I've been recommending people to watch that video you just posted up here, explaining your settings and what you do in your soils, because some of it will cross over into most all soils. We have pretty benign soil here, but if you head out to Virginia, and I know they've been testing it real hard in those hot soils, it's doing very, very well.
And while he was mentioning those settings, I did post the link to the video in the chat for those who are interested in seeing the settings.
Yeah, I did a video. I think it was in January or February, somewhere around in that area. I did a video because I was getting so many emails and messages on how do I set my detector up. I went step by step. I looked at the ground, and then I turned my detector on. I said, this is what I'm running today. This is what I'm going to start out running today. And I did that, ground balance, and then I went detecting. But
there you go.
I adjusted as I went, though, because I said, well, maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to up my sensitivity. Maybe I need to bring it down. Maybe I need to try 14 kilohertz or 20 kilohertz or 5. So I'm constantly, once I see that ground start changing, then I'm adjusting my detector, because what was working back there on that ground, and I'm moving up to a different part of, different soil, it's not going to give me the same results. So I try to keep it going.
Right.
How often, Darnell, do you re-ground balance?
I re-ground balance probably 3 or 4 times each time I'm out.
Okay. Some people, you've got to remember, folks, that ground balance is pretty important, too.
That's right. That's right.
And there were some questions that popped up, Darnell. I'm going to ask them for the folks that typed them up. I think Mark Hoover was asking, are you going to go to that Garrett hunt down in Texas? Well, they asked, and I'm just forwarding the message, buddy.
I have nothing against Garrett machines. I have nothing.
Well, no, it's got nothing to do with Garrett. You can hunt with any machine you want. They wanted to know if you'd be at the hunt, because some of them are going to that. They want to meet you.
Well, when is it? I'm not sure when the Garrett hunt is.
I think next weekend.
Yeah, I think so, but I think they've closed registration on it, too.
Oh, well, I probably won't make that one then.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Right,
And
there's
let's
your
see.
answer.
A couple of them said, Coin Discovery Hunter said he watched your video and it helped him.
Nice. That's what we
Yeah,
like to hear.
So,
I'm glad it helped.
yep. So keep doing what you're doing. There's people watching you, buddy, that they're not out there to dig at you. They're out there to learn from you, and that's the whole thing that you're being able to do. I mean, whether you're doing a video or writing books like Clive, he's still in there. Things like that. It's all great help, and as a dealer, sometimes I have to fall back on. And I'm not afraid to see something that somebody's doing a good job, and I'll say, watch this video, because he explains it better than I can, because some of my sales are long distance, and I actually use some of that to my advantage. And with all the multiple machines that are out there, sometimes I just don't have the time to go out and do those things, and I'm not the greatest with a camera on screen. My wife always reminds me, don't shoot the camera up at your face. They don't want to look up your nose. But you do a good job, mate, and have a good day. I just thought I'd throw out there that North Georgia Detectors is now the repair center for the Naka Macro brand in the United States. So you guys have a great night.
All right, thanks, Chuck.
For that information.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, I knew that I knew that Van Boone was working on it and they were getting things in place, but I wasn't sure if I was allowed to put that out there just quite yet.
That's why I said I'm not sure, but I know she was telling me that they were getting one set up here in the U.S.
Right. So apparently we're good to go on that. We didn't let the cat out of the bag. We're okay.
There we go.
Nice. Well, it sounds like there are, like Chuck said, a number of people that are really enjoying your videos, myself and Chuck included. Definitely keep up the good work and continued success with it, because even though you're not going to keep them all happy all the time, you do have a number of people out there watching the videos because they are learning from them, or because they do motivate them to get out and hunt, or inspire them to get out and hunt. And that's the important part. You are doing good with your videos.
Well, I appreciate all the support from everyone. I appreciate all the comments that everyone has been leaving. I'm glad that they're enjoying the videos. I'm glad my videos are helping them and motivating them, because that's how I got started. So it feels kind of good, to know that that's how you started, and you were able to learn and share your experience and what you learned with others. So it's like a revolving door. Who learns from me, what they learn from me, they might be able to share with somebody else. So that's why I say we all should be, willing to help each other and motivate each other, and not try to bring each other down. I don't know. But I'm glad I'm a part of the hobby. I'm glad everyone who does watch my videos, I'm glad they enjoy them. I'm going to keep making videos, and I hope everyone keeps watching, and I hope I reach 2,500 subscribers. I can't believe I even got that many, but I'm glad I got the support that I do, and I'll be giving a giveaway soon. Giveaway coming soon.
Well, I'm sure you'll get to 2,500 subscribers in no time, because your videos are very energetic and addictive to watch. Like I said, when you find something, that excitement is conveyed in the video, and it's very addictive.
Yeah, I can't help it. I know it's just a mercury dime or a Washington quarter or what, but man, I get excited when I see it. When I find something, I'm excited about it. That's how much I enjoy the hobby. Regardless if it's an old silver or a modern silver, I'm happy to find it, tell it to come up out of the ground, hello world, bring it home with me. I'm going to put it in a 2x2, date it, and put it up.
Absolutely. I don't care if I just found a silver dime 3 minutes before the next one. I'm still just as happy. It still brings a smile to my face seeing silver come out of the ground.
I love it.
Right. Well, I certainly appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us tonight. You have been a very energetic and informative guest. We may even have to have you back on again sometime.
Amen. Oh, thanks for having me. It was fun. I knew we had it planned for an earlier date, but I was moving, and then we had to get my Wi-Fi back up and all that stuff. But it got done, and hey, I'm glad we got it done.
That's right. I want you to hang in there with me for a few minutes. I got a couple quick announcements, and we'll roll the music and get on out of here, Darnell. And I need to get with you after the show anyway, because you've been such a treat as a guest. We're gonna get a Beyond Sight and Sound shirt out to you after the show.
Hey, hello, world.
Yeah, there you go. So for everyone else that has tuned in and joined us here tonight, Clive and everybody else, which, speaking of Clive, if you haven't read his books, check them out. They're very easy to understand, very informative books. I've read a number of them myself. So check out our friends over at Shooters and Prospectors, our friends at Extreme Scoops, our friends at XP Team USA, Dirt Pirates Detecting, DETECTEES.com, and obviously down there too, we've got the link for Darnell's YouTube channel. He's trying to get to 2,500 subscribers so he can do that giveaway. Let's help him out and give him a few subs as well. To everyone else, we got to roll. But if you enjoyed the show, make sure and smash that like on your way out. You can follow us here on Spreaker, Facebook, and many of the other wonderful podcast distribution services. Until the next time, we're going to roll the music and catch everyone on the pages. Have a wonderful evening, folks.